Let me just also ask you, Derek, concerning a case that, an interesting one that has really, also resonated with what many are concerned about, that Transparency International and the other civil society groups went to court to sort of seek or petition that politicians with questionable integrity backgrounds should be barred from vying for any political seat. There must have been a justification why you found this important. And, was there any green light, Because what we've heard is IEBC says their hands are tied. At the end of the day, in as much as, we are not in a position to actually bar this person from vying. So are we helpless? Talk to me about why this case was crucial.
So, jurisprudence evolves over time. From the first cases we had after the new constitution on Chapter 6, we saw a very different interpretation of the court. And that was the infamous case of the ICC suspects, the current president and deputy president. And they were allowed to contest in court. But over time, we have seen a change in how courts are handling issues of Chapter 6. Of course, there are some inconsistencies. Sometimes the judgments go north, sometimes they go south. But there seems to be a radical shift in how courts are considering handling Chapter 6 cases. But what really, one of the things that really prompted us to go to court is, one, we are at variance. We disagree with how the main institutions involved in Chapter 6 have been handling elections issues. So first of all, the Constitution, of course, establishes the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and it says that is the specialized institution that is in charge of the custodian of Chapter 6. It is in charge of making sure the implementation of Chapter 6 is successful. But if you look at the electoral process, especially with regard to vetting and clearing of candidates, then that role seems to be handled by IEBC. So what happens is, for any candidate, if you desire to hold office, you fill a self-declaration form, submit to ESCC, and that data is taken to IEBC. So ultimately, IEBC is the institution which determines whether or not you are cleared for the ballot. So one of the orders we are seeking in our petition is a declaration that ESCC is the main and final custodian of Chapter 6, and it should be clearing, not recommending. The same way, if you require clearance on taxation issues, you go to KRA, and you come out either with a certificate or not. So that the role of IEBC is just to confirm whether or not you have it and whether or not it's valid.
So ESCC, according to from where you said, should be the clearing body. It should be the one giving you the clearance to vote.
So if you don't have it, you fight your wars with ESCC, and after you're done, you come to IEBC. That is number one. Number two, we also disagree with the standard of clearing of Chapter 6 for election candidates. The standard that seems to be applied today, nowadays, is innocent until proven guilty. So that sets a criminal threshold to ethical issues, which we are pleading in our petition that those are two very different things. There are criminal issues aside, the ethical issues aside. So we are telling the courts we should have a standard for ethics and morality, because they are in the Constitution, and that standard should neither be criminal nor civil, because there are certain ethical values in the Constitution that you can violate without necessarily being criminally liable. A good example is the patriotism, showing respect to office, dignity, gross misconduct. There are certain things that you can do that fall within those categories, but we might not find any criminal charge to put on you. So if you violate them, you will not have no criminal record, but you will still have violated the Constitution. So we are telling the court that there is something the court, the Constitution is telling us, and if we listen very carefully, then we should have an extra standard, so that issues that are criminal in nature, that is, of course, we know there is the DCI and DPP, but what really does EACC do? So those are the two main things we are arguing in court.
All right.
Yeah.